When it was reported that the African National Congress, commonly referred to as the ANC, had supposedly offered Gayton McKenzie millions, the political landscape in South Africa was shook to the very foundation. It's the sort of news that immediately grabs the eye, stirs emotions, provokes suspicion, and invites questions about what is going on behind closed doors. Citizens throughout the nation and even outside its borders started wondering why would the ANC, the party in power with decades of experience under its belt, give someone like Gayton McKenzie such a massive sum. What are they possibly hoping to gain? And quite possibly most of all, what does this portend for South African politics in the future? To really grasp why this tale has caused so much shockwaves, we must take a step back and dig into the complex past between Gayton McKenzie and the ANC. McKenzie is not new to the limelight or to scandal. He initially became a figure in the public eye as a businessman and motivational speaker before venturing into politics. Through the years, he has established himself as having solid, unyielding opinions, incendiary orations, and a willingness to speak his mind about things many other political figures shy away from. McKenzie has consistently put himself forward as a call for reform, frequently targeting corruption, mismanagement, and selfishness, which critics insist have beset the ANC for years. But still, in criticizing Table, he has also demonstrated himself to be an able political operator, someone who knows the game of forming coalitions, navigating changing allegiances, and making his presence felt. Across from this tale is the ANC, a party with a proud but increasingly muddled heritage. Nowadays, the Party of Freedom, the political base of Nelson Mandela, the ANC is the symbol of hope for hundreds of thousands of South Africans for decades. But in the recent past, it has lost its good image. It is blamed by many for not keeping its major promises, especially in sectors such as creating jobs, reducing poverty, and fighting corruption. It has been eroded by scandal upon scandal, and the party's previously iron hold on power is now beginning to slip. The dynamics between McKenzie and the ANC have always involved a combination of respect, competition, and political expediency. There have been gestures of accommodation, gestures of overt confrontation, and lots of rumors of behind closed doors tactics. This is why what is happening now is so serious. When we learn that the ANC purportedly offered millions to McKenzie, it is not merely a case of money being transferred. It is about control. It is about power. And for both parties, it is a matter of survival. Timing is one of the very first considerations. South Africa is entering a crucial election season and the political landscape is in flux. New parties are rising and making inroads, and old allegiances, historically the lifeblood of politics in South Africa, are fraying. Under these circumstances, every vote is crucial. Every endorsement counts. The ANC realizes that if it is to cling to its majority, it has to make its appeal more universal, particularly among groups of people who feel out of touch with the mainstream political establishment. Associating itself with a figure such as McKenzie would be one way to do this. Then there is McKenzie's special power. Although he may not have a huge national constituency in sheer numbers, his voice is important in certain areas and communities. He is regarded by some as a straight shooter, a man not afraid to go against the grain. In close election races, his endorsement or even choosing not to run against the ANC might make the difference. For the ANC, the promise is obvious. Get McKenzie's agreement and you may gain crucial votes. But this leads to the uncomfortable question. If millions are allegedly being offered, where is that money going to come from? And what are they being asked to offer in return? This is where the tale gets even more opaque. Neither the ANC nor McKenzie has been forthcoming with a complete and open explanation. Official denials have been cryptic, half-hearted, and no one is keen on going on record with the details. This opacity has only fueled speculation. Further, Political observers are already cautioning that if such a deal does exist, it would be a bad precedent, one in which financial rewards and not public service would become the motivating force behind political coalitions. From McKenzie's point of view, it could be a high-risk, high-reward gambit to consent to cooperate more closely with the ANC. On the one hand, it might provide him with more political clout, access to funds, and greater chances to advance his policies. On the other, it might lose him the support base that has long seen him as an independent presence willing to take on the ruling party. Joining with the ANC would amount to selling out on his principles, particularly considering his past criticism of their rule. For the ANC, however, the math is equally complicated. Yes, McKenzie would give them short-term political gains. Yes, they would win influential constituencies through his endorsement. But there is a long-term gamble, intra-party squabbles. Not all within the party would take pleasure in having so polarizing a figure join them. Some would consider it a betrayal of the ANC's very principles. Others would worry it's a message to the electorate that's wrong, that loyalty can be purchased and that ideology comes second to political expediency. The controversy cannot be disconnected from broader South African society. The nation still struggles with huge disparities in wealth, persistently high rates of unemployment, and regular social unrest. In this context, any belief that politicians are making furtive behind-the-scenes deals is risky. It could contribute to resentment, ignite protests, and erode trust in democratic institutions. In the minds of most citizens, the notion that millions may change hands among political players when ordinary citizens are struggling to get by is another reflection of a political elite that has lost touch with reality. Down the road, there are a few potential scenarios. If the rumored arrangement materializes and McKenzie openly endorses the ANC, the party may pick up enough speed to land a solid position in the next election. But the cost could be high: additional loss of public trust, increased cynicism regarding politics, and risking the alienation of veteran support. Eventually, this could result in lower rates of turnout and a more splintered political environment. Conversely, if the arrangement falls through in the glare of publicity, both McKenzie and the ANC stand to be politically embarrassed. McKenzie's image might be tarnished, making his task more difficult in making himself out to be a moral outsider. The ANC might find itself subject to a fresh part of criticism for even broaching the possibility of such an agreement, risking losing political capital to smaller upstart parties keen to position themselves as a new alternative. Ask ChatGPT.